For today's text analysis presentation, we're going to look at one of my personal favorite authors, C.S. Lewis. For the two samples I chose for this analysis, I chose two of my favorite books, and they're my favorite for different reasons. But these two books are a little bit not as well known as a lot of his normal works, like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But I feel like these two played into this analysis perfectly because they have the same purpose, but very unique differences. Now, as for the purpose, those of you who don't know, is for C.S. Lewis, especially later in life, all of his works had a religious undertone or a religious foundation. And that definitely goes for these two books. Now, for the differences, the main difference and the most interesting difference is the perspective. Now, the perspective from the Screwtape Letters is a perspective from the demons or the devil's point of view. And you almost have to kind of twist the way your mind thinks when you read it, because in that book, they are the protagonists and the angels and God are actually antagonists. And as for Mere Christianity, the perspective is much different. It's more of a narration, and that's because of the next difference is the genres. I mean, Mere Christianity is a nonfiction book because it's mainly facts and historical data on Christianity itself. And for the Screwtape Letters, it's obviously a fiction novel. So I felt like these two would be really interesting to kind of compare and see what kind of conclusions we could draw. This is the results from the Voyant software on the Screwtape Letters. Now, something I thought was really interesting here is the two main words that came up were the word good and love. And this is really interesting because the Screwtape Letters is definitely a very dark and twisted novel. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot of good and love in it while you read it. And so this is the results from Mere Christianity. And ironically, the two main words from this analysis are good and love as well. And I felt like this is a little bit almost as interesting because it's a nonfiction book. It really doesn't play on, it shouldn't, you wouldn't think, play on those emotional kind of words. And there's a lot of different ways we could interpret this, but I felt like this was really interesting because this is why I really enjoy reading C.S. Lewis's books. It doesn't matter which genre or what he's writing. It always has kind of a foundation of love or positivity. And it's really interesting that this analysis kind of reaffirmed that. And for an added bonus, this is the results from the Jason Davies software. We have the Screwtape Letters on the left, Mere Christianity on the right, and good and love are in both of the results, and they are the most used word, obviously. And what even more interestingly, neither of the results show really any negative or evil, if you will, words. And it's really cool that both of these softwares kind of displayed the same results. So I really felt like this analysis was enjoyable, and I hope you did too. Thank you. Here are my sources.